Capital of Thailand, Bangkok is an ultra-modern city that has become one of the vital crossroads of Southeast Asia. Its success is undeniable. More than 11 million tourists visit it every year. Bangkok has inherited a rich cultural past that is a fusion of all the influences of Asia. But beyond the picture postcard image, the city has a great deal to offer the visitor ready to make the effort to discover it through the ages. Bangkok is a megalopolis of 8 million inhabitants, with one of the highest population densities in the world, at more than 5,000 people per square kilometre. From the 85th story of the highest building in the city at an altitude of 304 metres, there is a phenomenal view of the forest of skyscrapers in the new business districts. There are more than 500 buildings over 150 metres tall. That's enough to make anyone dizzy. The modern city has grown like a mushroom. In less than 30 years, it has become one of the most dynamic economic centres in Asia. But it's also famous for its motorway flyovers and its chaotic traffic. So to avoid traffic jams and pollution, almost 600,000 city dwellers daily take the SkyTrain, an ultra-modern overhead railway in service since 1999. Once inside, passengers enjoy air conditioning, while outside temperatures can reach up to 40 degrees Celsius. "30 meters above the ground, it's a perfect place to take a close look at these futuristic glass and concrete buildings that mingle with islands of greenery. For the time being, only 2 lines have been built. They cross the modern districts from east to west. With its many huge commercial centres, Bangkok has become one of the principal shopping destinations in Southeast Asia. And despite the Asian real estate crisis at the end of the 1990s, the city is constantly evolving. Everywhere you see buildings under construction, where men from Burma or Cambodia work at dizzy heights above the ground. But in the shadows of these futuristic skyscrapers, there is another Bangkok waiting to be discovered. Ancient Krung Thep, the city of the angels. The best way of seeing how the people live is to take one of the many water taxis that ply the Chao Phraya, the big river that flows through Bangkok from north to south. More and more tourists choose this means of transport to see the city from a different angle. The motorboat leaves the pier for a choppy cruise. The Chao Phraya is Bangkok's main artery for transit. Every 3 kilometers there's a ferry station, and a boat comes every 10 minutes. It's a very convenient way of getting quickly from one district to another. These buildings on the banks are luxury hotels, the finest 5-star hotels in the city. Traveling by boat on the Chao Phraya is a delicate, sometimes dangerous business. water taxis dart among fishing boats and floating restaurants. You have to know the strong currents that affect the river and how to avoid the huge barges transporting goods destined for the millions of inhabitants of Bangkok and its surrounding area. The pier in the Ratanakosin area announces the historic and spiritual center of the city. Here you will find the Wat Po, a temple dedicated to traditional medicine. Its construction began in 1788, making it one of the capital's oldest. The name Krung Thep, given to the city of Bangkok, is in fact a diminutive, as the complete name is probably the longest in the world. It translates as City of Angels, the Great City, the residence of the Emerald Buddha, the impregnable city of god Indra, grand capital of the world endowed with 9 precious gems, the happy city, noble in its enormous royal palace that resembles the heavenly abode, kingdom of the reincarnated god, a city given by Indra and built by Vishnu Kalm. It was thanks to the fortune amassed by the traders of Krung Thep, which was originally no more than a commercial outpost near the Gulf of Siam, that successive kings were able to build these richly decorated chapels that house no fewer than 394 golden Buddhas. In another courtyard stand 91 stupas that are unique in the world. Originally from India, they represent Buddha in the shape of a cone. They often house Buddhist relics, but Wat Po is more of a royal mausoleum. That's why these stupas that contain the ashes of royal princes are venerated by the Thai. But tourists come to admire them because they are unique, incredibly adorned with thousands of porcelain flowers. This huge 3-dimensional mosaic is an artistic and technical feat that testifies to the delicacy and richness of Thai art. The beauty of the site attracts many art students who come here to find inspiration. This traditional orchestra is called a pipat. Its musicians are playing the Nang Hong, a piece played at funerals. That's why this extraordinary instrument, with its dome-centered gongs, has the shape of a celestial boat. It's meant to carry the soul of the dead person to his next reincarnation. During the funeral ceremonies, songs and mantras are recited in order to help the living to come to terms with the death of their loved one. The rest of the orchestra is composed of large xylophones made with bamboo slats called ranat, tapong drums, and piet flutes, as well as the percussionist playing the ching. It's not so easy to keep the rhythm. Back now on the Chao Phraya. At weekends, the inhabitants cross it to get to the little island of Kokret, the Potter's Island. It's on Bangkok's left bank, the oldest part of the city. Here, there are no tourists. Kokret is a typically Thai place, an island of tranquility in the heart of the huge metropolis. Today, a lot of people are wearing pink because it's Tuesday. In Thailand, every day of the week corresponds to a color. Tomorrow, Wednesday, will be green. Social life is organized around these gatherings that always begin with a visit to a Buddhist temple and its gold-covered idols. The Thai are very religious and respectful of tradition. They regularly pay their respects to the dead and leave offerings to Buddha. Their other passion, besides taking photographs of each other, is street cooking. These small improvised restaurants sell all sorts of delicious snacks prepared for you while you wait. Like these succulent meatballs that are a great favorite. The Thai have a good breakfast, and then all throughout the rest of the day they eat from these stalls. More original, here are orchid and poppy flower fritters. They can be eaten without a second thought. An unforgettable gastronomic experience. The little island of Kokret has forever been inhabited by the Mon, a community that arrived from Burma 4 centuries ago. Today, the island has a little market that sells items for interior decoration, plastic flowers, lamps, and candles. The most sought-after items are the famous pottery objects made on the island. In this wooden house, there's a little shop which contains a glorious shambles. What with the heads of bodhisattva, mythological monsters, and chubby cherubs, the weekend bargain hunters will find just the right thing to decorate their gardens. The pottery workshop is right behind the shop. The island has a dozen or so such places. On his wheel, the potter turns traditional pottery. Polishing calls for special care. The finishing is done with the help of a shell. Then the pottery is sculpted. The worker draws the parts that will be cut out before baking. The result is magnificent lamps carved like lace. We leave Khokret to go up those hundreds of canals called klongs that make up the city's ancient network of communication in the days when Bangkok was nicknamed the Venice of the Orient. The klongs offer a unique viewpoint on the dozens of temples and traditional houses built along the river's banks. The canals flow through dozens of kilometers across the city. Life is organized around this network of canals. It's the real nervous system of authentic Bangkok. A peaceful life, far from the tumult of the modern districts. Houses of the wealthy sit side by side with the traditional wooden houses of the Chao Phraya fishermen. This area is attracting more and more people who want to escape modern city life. These houses on stilts are now competing with large penthouse apartments on the tops of skyscrapers. We dock at the pier of the Bamboo district. Here, a small community lives at the heart of the klongs. Quiet, narrow little streets run between wooden houses. This is what the city looked like before the skyscrapers arrived. In fact, the city was organized in little villages delineated by the canals. But the village of Bamboo remains an exception because little by little, traditional Bangkok is disappearing. In the neighborhood, there are only 2 forges left, where smiths still hammer out these bronze bowls. They are used for offerings of rice that the faithful make daily to the monks as they go on their morning rounds. It's really an everyday object for Buddhists. Here, nothing seems to have changed. The furnace is a simple brick hearth where the smith makes the offering bowls by hand. The heat of the oven makes the work quite arduous. The bowl is then shaped on a lathe in conditions that are rather rudimentary. This know-how is handed down from generation to generation. The bowl must also be polished to give it this golden finish. There used to be dozens of family workshops like this one in Bamboo. Today, this craftsmanship has practically disappeared. Ritual objects still made in the traditional way have become more and more rare. Until 1939, Thailand was called the Kingdom of Siam. 76 kilometers north of Bangkok is the ancient capital, Ayutthaya. Here, the dynasty of Siam flourished for 4 centuries, from 1351 to 1767. Ayutthaya was an opulent city. Its inhabitants did business with its neighbors, the Chinese, the Vietnamese, and the Indians, but also with the Portuguese, the Spanish, and the Dutch, and, during the reign of Louis XIV, with the French. At the end of the 18th century, the city fell to the neighboring Burmese. Built mainly in wood, it was destroyed by fires. Today, only Buddhas and temples remain to testify to this sumptuous era. According to tradition, each king had to build his own pagoda. That's why Ayutthaya has about 15 temples and monasteries. It was declared a UNESCO World Heritage Site in 1991. The Wat Pramahatat monastery dates from the 14th century. Its large stone Buddha is the only one to have kept its head. Legend has it that when the Burmese decapitated all the statues, one of the heads rolled up to the trunk of a sacred fig, Buddha's holy tree, whose mammoth roots protected the head from the ravages of time. This face, which has become a symbol of serenity, attracts millions of visitors from all over the world. The site is impressive. Its giant proportions recall those of its Cambodian neighbor, Angkor. But as the Khmer Empire declined, the ancient capital of the Kingdom of Siam was flourishing. At the end of the 14th century, Ayutthaya was the most powerful capital in the region. This was when King Ramatibodi took over Angkor in 1491 and subjugated the Khmer Empire. The Cambodian influence is obvious in the architecture of the temples, like the royal monastery of Wat Chai Watanaram. This is where the kings of Ayutthaya were cremated. The central pyramid is called a prang. It represents Mount Meru, the sacred mountain of Buddhism. It's surrounded by 4 chapels that represent the 4 cardinal points. Wat Chai Watanaram is a huge mausoleum constructed in 1630 for the mother of King Prasat Tong. But the royal city is not just a major archaeological monument. The Thai regularly go there on pilgrimage. In Wat Panan Chueng, in the oldest monastery built 200 years before the city of Ayutthaya, these jade relics and this immense 14-meter-tall Buddha, covered in 340 kilos of pure gold, are the objects of a very special veneration. We are attending the ceremony of Ting Krajab, or the offering of the monks' robes, which takes place once a year. The rituals last for 3 days, and the high point is the moment when the huge statue is covered in saffron robes offered by the pilgrims. They represent offerings to Buddha to increase his karma, but also to ghosts who have no families to draw their benevolence. This ceremony takes from both the Buddhist religion and from Chinese tradition. Once all the robes have been attached together, they're unfolded over the worshippers. The huge band of cloth is then hauled up with ropes and gradually covers the golden Buddha. In Thailand, all the statues are covered with the saffron robe during this ceremony, which is the most important in the Buddhist calendar. Religion is the center of life for the people of Thailand. Buddha is a very serious subject, and blasphemy is punishable with prison. Every Thai male is expected to spend several months, if not years, of his life as a monk in a monastery, whatever his age. It's a way of living entirely according to Buddha's teachings, while making a vow of poverty during this period. But religion is involved in all the important events in life: births, marriages, funerals. Before leaving Ayutthaya, we visit one last monastery, Wat Yai Chai Mongkong, famous for its 7-meter-long reclining Buddha, one of the biggest in the country. A few kilometers away from the old capital city, elephants are quietly grazing near the road. Although the Asian elephant is smaller than its African cousin, it is nevertheless just as impressive. Especially when it shakes its head about. This is a sign of stress and aggressiveness. Maybe this particular elephant doesn't like cameras, because they are well cared for and happy here. Welcome to the Royal Elephant Kraal village, unique in Thailand. For nearly 20 years, this royal farm has been taking in old elephants after they've spent their lives carrying enormous trunks of precious wood. A well-deserved retirement, looked after by these experienced mahouts. More than 400 years ago, Thais learned to tame wild elephants to use as working animals or for riding to war against neighboring Burmans. These days, they are used less and less for heavy work. And the royal farm can be proud of the fact that 50 baby elephants have been born there in the last 15 years. The center has become the biggest elephant nursery in the country. But the elephants are not entirely idle here. In the Royal Elephant Kraal village, mahouts train them to march slowly for religious parades. And occasionally, they're taken to Hollywood to work in big-budget films. To reach such a high level of training takes many years of cultivating a totally trusting relationship between man and beast. Recently, Thailand was shaken by scandals relating to tame elephants. Elephants used for tourist rides are sometimes badly treated by their mahouts, who hit them over the head with axes to make them obey orders. But nothing like that happens at the Royal Elephant Kraal village. Here, the elephants live happily and are well looked after in free-ranging conditions, although the little ones are attached to their mothers when they walk out of the enclosure. It's evening bath time for this little elephant and its mother. At birth, he weighed in at nearly 100 kilos. Its mother needs 12 liters of milk a day to give her one baby. This baby elephant will need a lot of lotus roots before he is fully grown at 10 years of age. It's a magic moment watching this regal animal at close quarters in its natural habitat. Since time immemorial in Thailand, elephants have been the prerogative of royalty. Ayutthaya's kings were known as elephant masters. They fought over the throne in combats on elephant back. Nowadays, there are no more than a few thousand wild animals in Thailand. There are 3 times as many domesticated elephants. For the last 10 years or so, the Royal Elephant Kraal Village Farm has been offering foreigners who wish to the chance to spend a few weeks working as volunteers looking after the elephants. It's a rare chance to learn the work of the mahout, an ancient craft. With enough training, it will be possible to ride one of these formidable mastodons. The Bangkok region has a few more surprises in store, such as the visit to this place from another age, proposed by all the travel agents in the town.
Okay, so I will explain for you. Now you are here. You will take a boat by small boat. Small boat better. From here to small canal to the floating market. In the floating market, motor and engine stop by paddle. You don't paddle, diver paddle. To allow everywhere floating market. If you want to stop, take photo, shopping, and stop to eat, you tell boat diver.
สวัสดีครับสวัสดีครับ
Thank you. Great.
Here we are again on the Klongs. This time we're at Dam Noen Saluak, about 100 kilometers north of Bangkok. The journey there and back can be done in the day. Along these quiet canals, nothing seems to have changed since the time of the Siamese kingdom. The labyrinth of klongs which wind through the jungle leads us to the first stage, a palm grove hidden among the canals.
Okay, stop 10 minutes.
Okay, have a stop coconut sugar farm.
Okay.
It's an authentic family-run palm sugar factory, the hostess tells us.
This here we make coconut sugar. We make sugar from coconut flour. This is flour. Flour on the top of coconut tree. Flour before become coconut. In the evening we climb up to the top of coconut tree. We cut the end of flour. Sugar from flour is drip from here, from flour coconut. In the morning, we keep sugar from coconut tree and we boil. Boil here, you can see. Boil about 20 minutes. About that. Here, after we keep it from coconut tree, we boil 20 minutes just for drink. Here, like that, like a juice. And here in basket, boiling 2 hours. After 2 hours, become sugar like this. This is coconut sugar. This Thai people use for hot coffee, hot tea, for soup, for curry, for cooking. Coconut sugar.
Our river trip continues along the canals. The farther we go, the more tourists there are, because Damno and Saduak is world famous for its floating market lost in the heart of this river city. As in the ancient city of Krung Thep, life is organized around the river and its canals. It's life centered on water. The floating market is a must for visitors to Bangkok looking for authenticity. Unfortunately, it is the victim of its own success. At rush hour, there's a traffic jam of canoes filled with tourists. In spite of that, nothing has really changed here. The traders still sell fruit and vegetables from their gardens and home-prepared food from their riverboats. Dragon fruit, mangoes, grapefruit all contribute to a rapid and exotic snack. The place is certainly worth a visit with its ballet of boats and the old-fashioned atmosphere here. This is the good life, Thailand style. Visitors from all over the world come here to experience it. They mingle with families from the capital, come in search of their roots. It takes a lot of skill to navigate among the boatloads of tourists, all desperately seeking to capture for posterity a souvenir which is in any case unforgettable. And now back to Bangkok. There's nothing like a tuk-tuk for getting across the huge town. It's a little three-wheeler taxi fitted with a scooter engine. It's the ideal form of transport for weaving through the traffic. Nevertheless, you need to watch out for motorbike thieves who take advantage of a moment of inattention to steal passengers' bags in the wink of an eye. The tuk-tuk dives into Bangkok's little alleys that are called soi. This is the heart of the town. Signs made up of ideograms in red and gold blossom in the streets. Without doubt, we must be in the Yaowarat quarter, otherwise known as Chinatown. Every Asian capital has its Chinese quarter, but this is one of the biggest. In this town, 1 in every 3 inhabitants is of Chinese origin. It's the oldest quarter in the capital, and several Cantonese communities have been settled here for more than 2 centuries. Even though the hundreds of opium dens and gaming rooms have disappeared, it remains the prime commercial sector. The place is conducive to business. According to legend, the layout of these winding streets forms the shape of a dragon. But Chinatown is above all a multitude of small shops and family workshops, which make the Chinese community one of the wealthiest in the country. In the market, one finds all the Asian influences. The spices and dried fish typical of Thailand, as well as an incredible variety of vegetarian dishes. Vegetables, mushrooms, and of course, tofu. But not everything that is sold in this market is necessarily intended for the table. Its roast ducks and boiled chickens are destined for religious rituals. For Bangkok's Chinese have remained very attached to their traditions. Hidden away in this little alley is an important site of Chinese Buddhism, the temple of Wat Bampen Chin Prot. On the central altar sits a pot-bellied, smiling Buddha known as Master Ya. Behind him, 3 traditional Buddhas in the meditation position. Red lanterns hang from the ceiling in homage to the Lord of the Heavens. This temple brings together the different Buddhist and Taoist influences of Chinese culture. The heavenly kings are side by side with the Avalokiteshvara, the Tibetan Buddha most venerated by the Chinese. Even at the heart of these modern districts, Bangkok reminds us of the history of Krung Thep. The town is experiencing an unprecedented property boom. Nearly half the tower blocks were built in the last 15 years. Many multinational companies have installed their operational centers for Southwest Asia in the Sukhumvit sector. Barely 60 years ago, this business district was an immense paddy field. The first hotels were built at the time of the Vietnam War. They served as brothels for the amusement of American GIs on leave. But today, the privileged classes live in these luxurious residences with swimming pools and nightclubs on their roofs. Here, at the foot of these skyscrapers, is hidden an astonishing place. It's the house of Jim Thompson, an American with an extraordinary destiny. In 1959, this man who loved Thailand opened up to the public this site, composed of 6 teak-built houses, some of which are more than 200 years old. He had found them during his numerous trips in the north of the country, had them dismantled and then reassembled in exactly the same way in the heart of Bangkok. Today, they house a museum which brings together the most beautiful pieces of Jim Thompson's collection. He was also a great lover of Asiatic art. Among his collection, some pieces are unique, such as these engravings on wood and these vases from the Ming era, more than 500 years old. Jim Thompson's house is visited regularly by Bangkok students who come to admire their cultural heritage and rediscover their history. The luckiest ones can even find a little job here to help pay for their studies, become an official guide, for example. For that, they need to speak several languages fluently. But to come back to the original master of the house. In 1948, Jim Thompson founded the Thai Silk Company. He gave a second wind to the silk industry, which had fallen into disuse. The now prosperous company is a trademark known the world over. But Jim Thompson's story does not stop there, because he was a spy in the service of the OSS, the predecessor of the CIA. During the Second World War, after having helped the French resistance in North Africa, he was sent to Thailand to fight against the Japanese occupation forces. He never left the region up to his death in 1967. During a trip to Malaysia, he disappeared in circumstances which remain mysterious to this day. In spite of a widespread search organized by the American Army, his body was never found. These days, more and more Americans visit their compatriot's house. Like these young people, mesmerized by the turtles living in the pond. A moment captured in a souvenir photo with these placid, friendly creatures, which delight not only the tourists, but also the employees of Jim Thompson's house. In Bangkok, the futuristic towers are, in the final analysis, only a backdrop. Life hasn't changed for the inhabitants. They all still meet in the many parks in the town, to play sport or to relax with their families. To enjoy the shade of the trees and the cool of the lake when the atmosphere becomes stifling. These little islands of calm are a vital escape from the stress of the huge metropolis. Here, lovers meet and workers come for their lunch break. In spite of its spectacular development, Bangkok has always managed to remain zen by cleverly mixing an almost futuristic universe with its distinctive way of life and its age-old traditions. The huge concrete city has maintained its human scale, and its gentle lifestyle attracts expatriates from all over the world, for whom it is one of the favorite places to stay in Asia. For this reason, Bangkok has always remained a vibrant, cosmopolitan city. It certainly deserves its name, City of the Angels.